And we're live! The Heck Podcast. We're here with Dustie Waring, guitarist for BT Bam.
What's up?
How's it going? Man, you guys just released a new album.
We did.
Nice.
Automata 1.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that and the writing process, man.
Well, we wrote, there's part 1 and part 2, but we wrote and recorded it as one piece. But just with today's listeners, myself included, it's very easy to be ADD and not really be able to digest all of it at one time.
Yeah.
So we just kind of thought it would be better to break it up. And honestly, it's worked out really well because I'm dying.
It's time.
Part 1 ends on such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That people are just like, oh my God, I can't wait for part 2.
Yeah.
So I think it actually worked out pretty well.
It's like story-wise, I think it definitely does, man. And like, it's almost like Netflix syndrome. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was thinking the same.
Yeah, and it's cool that y'all broke it up like that because now like people have something to look forward to, and y'all have a definitive. Like, I know the month. Is there a definitive date on the release?
We know it, but I'm not sure if it's been released.
Okay.
We don't know if it. I can't remember if it's even been announced yet, but it's soon.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I saw that there's like a month that has been released on it. So at least it gives people like something for them to look forward to, and it gives them like, taste that there's something else too.
Part 2 is pretty cool, man. So I'm looking forward to people hearing it.
Yeah. What would you say is the like? Is there a reason other than like story-wise? Is there a reason that y'all decided to split those songs?
Well, like I said, man, it's just our music is very dense, and it's a lot to take in, and it's very easy for people to just have short attention spans nowadays.
Yeah.
So we just kind of wanted them to be able to really take it in. Part 1 came out and everybody just like studied it and listened to it, and they know the concept and they know this, they know that. So I think it was, honestly, man, I think it just worked out great because now they're so familiar with part 1 and they know everything, and they're just kind of waiting. And once part 2 comes out, they're gonna be like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like, do you like Code and Camera? You follow them?
Yeah, we toured with them.
Dude, yeah. You sure did. Well, like, they did Afterman, Ascension and Descension, but they released them both at the same time. So it was almost like, you might have 2 different CDs, and the Foo Fighters did that as well too. But you might have 2 CDs, but you still got that, like, it's all at one time,
Yeah,
so I think y'all did it right. Like, I don't know many other bands that have done that right now.
Yeah, we can't take all the credit. The label had a lot of really good input as well.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, we're all pretty. It was a weird idea at first, but we're all pretty happy with how it came out.
Yeah.
But doing that, I think, was a good move.
Yeah, I think album 1 stands alone by itself, and then like just music-wise, it sounds amazing. So I think like,
Thanks, man.
It's gonna be remembered by itself, and then as a concept too. Like whenever album 2 comes out. So it's just gonna finish that.
2's a little more nutty.
Yeah.
So
would you say it's more heavy or like whimsical in the music, or like what would you?
I'd say it's just as heavy as part 1, but it's definitely got more dynamics, and it's a bit weirder.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So like how would you say do y'all like pick songs from, like if you're gonna go on a tour, like after the second one comes out, how would y'all like pick your songs from each one? Would you just randomize them?
Well,
or?
Generally, man, when you have an album come out, like if it comes out like right when you're going on a tour, you don't want to play too much of it. Typically, we'll play like 1, maybe 2 from an album. Like our last tour with the Deer Hunter and Leprous, we did Condemned to the Gallows and Blot.
Okay.
Blot's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. You know what? That's probably the most fun song in our entire catalog to play.
I was gonna ask you that question, but man, like
there's so much different stuff going on,
Yeah.
and I literally cycle through every pickup selection on my guitar for that song. So
dude, that's not it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But like for our next tour, which hasn't been announced yet either. We'll probably play one song off part 2.
Yeah.
And you just, you don't want to like blow your load right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and plus, you feel like it gives people more time to kind of like familiarize.
yeah, they want to. Yeah, they want to like. I want them. We want them to be able to digest it and be familiar with it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like very dense material. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they'll be able to come to the shows and be able to sing along and get into
absolutely.
it a lot more. You know?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Man, I think it's cool. Like, y'all have a lot of like riff-oriented, songs and a lot of parts like that. And I just recently went to an Animals as Leaders concert, which is the first time I've ever been to it, just to like a music-only concert. And they have people singing along their riffs. Do y'all have that a lot at your concerts? Like, your leads, people just screaming out.
I mean, we have in-ears in, so it's very hard to hear anything.
Yeah.
Outside of the music, but. Man, I talk to Blake about it a lot. It's funny because every show I look out on the front row and there's dudes air drumming and they're on the money. They're like they're doing like all the fills and
that's me because I play drums myself and I do that too.
And it's awesome because I'll look out and there's just this guy right here and he's just staring at Blake and he's not missing anything.
Like, check me out.
And the record's been out for like 4 hours and the guy's like got everything. It's awesome. It's pretty cool, man.
But that's one of my drum heroes.
Yeah,
he's really, really good, man. I've been playing with him since I was 15.
Oh my god.
What is it like? I mean, like, what is it like? I mean, like, whenever you're writing your record, like, do you feel like there's anything different, I guess, with this record and your last records with the writing process?
Dude, honestly, we've been a band for so long that it's gotten to a point to where it's such a natural thing for us.
Yeah.
I mean, even Blake writes guitar parts. Like, everyone writes parts, and we email them to each other. We kind of get familiar, and then we kind of start laying out just like an outline of the record. And when we get together, I mean, we just put parts together, and Blake will kind of just write drums on the spot that kind of are the same feel, and we record it as we're going.
Oh, that's great.
And then when we break for the week to come back next week, that's Blake's time to actually write his real drum parts. And then he'll re-record it. And he's kind of like a master with transitions and stuff like that. And like, getting to a different tempo or whatever. So it's really good at mapping that kind of stuff out. So by the next week when we come back, he'll have his like finalized drums, and we can kind of fine tune the guitar stuff. And but like I said, man, we've been doing it so long together now that it's not strenuous at all. I would say it's only strenuous for Tommy because he's got to come up with a narrative and vocal parts for this madness. You know what I mean? So this record in particular, I felt pretty bad for him because
a lot of material.
Yeah, it's a lot of material. It's a lot of different dynamics, and he definitely said that this one messed up his sleep a lot. It's just like, Jesus, what am I gonna do?
Well,
that's one of those things that always drew me to Between the Buried and Me, is like the way that y'all are able to transition in between all of this crazy stuff. It's not like just about every time it happens, anytime there's a transition, it's not a wall. It's just like a pathway that goes to the next one, and that's always what I've loved about the band.
I think it's just we all listen to like so much music, different styles of music, and I think that's the goal as a progressive band, is to just be able to kind of just take it everywhere. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we've never, the idea of repeating ourselves has never been very appealing. That's kind of like our thing. We don't ever want to repeat ourselves. So,
and I think that shows.
It definitely does.
The albums for sure.
I was reading a book one day, and I was listening to The Great Misdirect, and I was reading a book, and it was going through, and I thought, like, Desert Song came on. And in the middle of it, like, it was my first time listening to the whole album start to finish, like, not picking songs and stuff. So I was like, listen to it. I don't think I'd heard Desert Song yet. And so I was like, and I was like, dude, what? It's just like, I thought like a random song came on, dude. And like, I don't know, man. It's got such a country feel to it, and it's just so out of the blue. I think like.
Me and Paul really like country, actually.
Yeah.
Listen to a lot of, Alison Krauss and stuff like that. So I think that song was just kind of, we just felt like, we were like, let's do like a desert rock country weird song here,
It's so weird because it is so country, but then you guys like make it you as well too. Like
it's funny because Paul has like the most perfect Randy Travis like country voice, and we were trying to get him to be way more twangy on it.
Even more?
Oh man, his original, like when he would sing along to it, I was like, dude, you got to do it. That's so awesome. But he kind of like tamed it down a little, I mean, you can still. He's still a little country on there, but not like
it's like so
not like
low
the
too, man. It's like just
it's
good. Is he gonna be like in the future? You ever see that country hymn coming back out?
I wish, man. He'll at soundcheck he'll start singing Randy Travis through the mic, and I'm like, dude, if you just like became a country artist, I think it could work.
It could work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
he's got the voice for it.
Yeah, you're here in the music city capital, freaking country music city capital as well. Do you feel like what brought you here? I guess is a good question too.
Well, I've been coming here for years, since I was a kid actually, and I have a very close friend of mine who lives here now from North Carolina, and he's a excellent country singer. Not like your traditional, the bullshit on the radio, but he's a very talented guy, and I've played live with him for a long time.
That's cool.
I've played on a lot of his recordings, and as of July, he was recording an EP with Billy Decker, who is, the G, and me and my dad actually played on all of his pre-production. My dad's a bassist, and it just came out so awesome.
Yeah.
That because typically out here, if you play for someone, you're not on their records, Yeah. And Ross was like, I want him to play guitar on this because it kind of I want the more aggressive thing, and so I came out here and tracked guitars for him, and I was kind of in the middle of a life change, and I was like, man, I like doing that. I'm just gonna move here.
Yeah.
So since I've moved here, I do probably 2 songs a week, and I'm just kind of slowly getting more and more into the session stuff. And the only band I want to play live with is Beats and Bam, obviously.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy the creative side of. My goal as a guitar player is to be as well-rounded as I can be, to be able to hold my own in everything.
Yeah. So
it's a very nice challenge for me to come out here and just have to, hey, pretend you're Vince Gill.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
Whatever. So I like that.
Yeah. And there's such there's a huge community right now for like session guitarists, and just like the singer-songwriter here is huge too.
But you have to have something about, whether you're a singer or a guitar player or whatever, you have to have something about you that's different enough to stand out, because there's so many fantastic musicians in this town, but I feel like the key is you need to have something about your art that stands out, that's different enough for people to want to work with you,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm going for.
Have you had like with your session guitaring, have you had any controversy with them being like, well, we're looking for a country guitarist, and then them knowing like you're in a metal band or
like I said, I can do the country thing, but there's been one song where it was pretty country, and I was like, man, this isn't me saying I can't do it, but honestly, I had another buddy of mine who's like purely a country player, does the chicken picking stuff, just has the tone, and I was like, honestly, I think he would be better for this song, So it's not an ego thing whatsoever, man. I think it's just about the song, about the part.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not me, it's not me.
Yeah.
But if you want some heavy-handed riffing and some like Whitesnake solos or whatever, I got you. You know?
Yeah. Nice.
I think it plays a factor, like, you know, because you want to put yourself in what you're playing as well. So that makes a lot of sense, you know, not wanting to be on it if you don't feel it as much as.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and like I said, it's about the song, it's about the part, you know. And I mean, it's like that with me and Paul too. Like on our records, if there's a section, he has no ego whatsoever about being like, Dust, rip one here, man. This is more kind of your style, you know. And me too, you know. I'll be like, Paul, this is more you, man.
So y'all like both sort of lead rhythm. Y'all just do everything.
Yeah, but he definitely has more. I would call him the lead guitarist, even though I do have a lot of lead stuff. But honestly, I mean, you know, we both kind of do it all.
Yeah.
You know, but I would definitely say that he does substantially more lead stuff than I do. But you know, as the years go, he'll be like, him and Dan will be like, Dust, this part needs like, you know, one of your 80 solos, you know, one of your epic parts or whatever. But yeah, man, it's just about the part. To me, you know.
I think it's cool that y'all are also well-rounded enough that you can be like, you can step up and take the lead there. You can, and he can. You know,
and you have like different strengths, so that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think the key is just to recognize that and never have an ego about anything. Because at the end of the day, it's like the group effort is what's important, you know. And we're lucky enough to kind of we're like a family, man. You know?
That's cool.
A bunch of really good friends, and we know who's best at what, and like I said, man, it's about the song, it's about the part. We just want to make it as good as we can, whether it's for Between the Buried and Me or me playing for, you know, Dick Trickle or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
there's probably a dude out there named that.
Yeah, he's a race car driver, actually.
NASCAR driver. My dad was into NASCAR so much. I heard that name all the time.
Dick Trickle. Have you ever noticed that race car drivers have race car driver names?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Daryl Waltrip,
That's
Rusty
so
Wallace.
Yeah.
I mean, Dale Earnhardt.
Oh
like these are like
that's a classic right there.
These are like like race car names.
I mean, you think like when they're born, they're like, he's gonna be a driver.
Yeah.
This man.
Better name him as such.
This is Chuck Steak coming around the bend.
Steakhouse.
He's gonna make this lap well done.
Well, man, like moving to Nashville and living here, do you feel like it's has that changed the dynamic of your band, or were y'all close? Like, did y'all live close whenever?
I mean, Tommy's lived in Southern California for, let's see, his son just turned, let's see, maybe 8 years, 7, 8 years he's lived out there.
Yeah.
So, and you know, before that we were all in North Carolina, but it's not a big deal at all, man. I mean, when we're off tour, Paul just opened a really great coffee shop in Charlotte. They've had a soft opening, but their official opening is this weekend, and so he's really busy with that, with his coffee company. You know, Blake's like a business owner. Him and his wife have a business that they take care of when he's not on tour. You know, Dan's constantly writing music for tons of projects, and you know, Tommy's constantly busy doing stuff. You know, I'm out here doing my thing, and obviously BT BAM is the main focus, but it's never a competition. Like I said, man, we're just like a family of
that's really cool.
Dudes who just you know, just trying to do the best we can outside of music, because you know, unfortunately in today's world, you know, it's not the easiest thing to survive off of music, you know what I mean? We're lucky enough to be able to pay the bills, but you know, it's you kind of have to do other things, you know?
We were talking about that on the way up here, man. Like, you know, so you've been in band since
04.
Before Alaska came out, right?
Yeah. Alaska was the first record with this lineup.
Okay. And then you writing on Alaska and all that as well too. Which, by the way, huge props. That got me into everything in metal, man. So I freaking love that album. But so before that, I mean, like, dial-up and stuff was going on pretty much, you know?
Mhm.
Right, boys, where we were at, I was like super in the sticks, man.
Yeah,
but like, so you all have seen, you know, the explosion of social media and stuff like that. How has that affected, I mean,
the internet in general has, it's helped a lot of things, and it's been great for a lot of things, but it's also pretty much ruined a lot about music, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the record sales are sad.
yeah. Well,
No one
that's
buys them. You just sign up for Apple Music or Spotify, and you never have to support music for the rest of your life. You
true.
know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. You have to-
It's pretty sad, you know, but I think it's given artists the incentive to think about more creative ways to release your product, you
Yeah.
know? Something that makes your fan go, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that physical copy of this, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, man, I mean, the fact that I can be like, who is Herbert Burfel? And I can get on my phone and like Google it and get his life story or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Like that's awesome.
Definitely
Or
helps. Yeah.
the internet's great for a lot of things, but it definitely has. It's definitely had a really negative effect on music. You know.
Yeah.
I was actually Steven Tyler was on Joe Rogan's podcast. It's been a couple
Great
days ago.
podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I love that podcast. But Steven Tyler is actually, he's one of the forerunners now of this new thing called the Music Modernization Act. It's something dealing with Spotify and Apple Music and all these places that only pay very little to the people on there, and they're trying to get it to where they're paying people legitimately now instead of.
Well, they should be,
instead
man.
of screwing
You know, I
together.
mean, the suits just don't understand the amount of effort it takes to write and record a record
Yeah.
and then tour on it. You know, I mean,
It takes a huge part of yourself just to make
yeah,
the
I
music
mean,
itself. And then,
God, being a touring musician will aid you. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that we aren't extremely thankful for what we have, but it can be very, very hard, you know, and the creative process, you know, I mean, you're very tough on yourself, and you're like, is this good? And you know, like
It's your heart
you're in
and
your
soul.
head about it, and yeah, I mean, it's literally an extension of yourself, and to not be compensated for it whatsoever, kind of just kills a part of you, you know. And nowadays, unless you're Coldplay or something, you know, your only income is from the road, which to me is criminal.
Do y'all get with, like, I mean, I'm sure it has to do with record labels and stuff like that, but like with Amazon Music and stuff like that, like people that buy, because I've got Amazon Unlimited or whatever, do y'all actually see a portion of that? If
I have no
somebody
idea.
I wonder that question, man.
I have
'cause,
no
like,
idea.
One of
like-
the things that Steven Tyler talked about, he said the rules on any kind of music and musicianship and all of this record label stuff haven't been looked at since 1903.
Wow.
When?
It's 1903.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
And
It's been major.
He said that what actually started this. Dang it! Who's that artist he was talking about?
R. Kelly.
No, but it was some famous it was an older type musician that had records out ages ago, and his music had got on Spotify, and they basically, over the course of his music being on there, and you know, over the years, they owed him like $200-something thousand. Well, he got lawyers and went to him and said, hey, y'all owe me this money, you know, and they were wanting to settle with him for $12,000.
Wow.
And Steven Tyler was like, we heard about this. He's like, I got my lawyer.
Yeah.
And we went together with him, and we're trying to get him his money, and we're trying to go to Congress and pass these new laws that need to be in effect to actually help artists make it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, man. You know, I mean, there's so many things we could do. You know, I have tons of Canadian friends and Scandinavian friends who, and the government actually, you know, they'll pay for their music videos.
that's cool.
They give them grants. You know, you get. There's just all these things, you know, that their governments pay and help the arts. But you know, in America, nobody gives a shit about the arts.
Yeah.
But you know, little things like that could help. You know, and I'm not saying that like we need a ton of help or anything, but just like up and coming artists that are really talented and want to do this, and you know, maybe they start getting a lot of hype on them, and you know, their shows are getting bigger and this and that. You know, you deserve to be compensated for your efforts. And you know, I mean, like I said, these up and comers, you gotta have a vehicle to tour in. You gotta be able to pay for gas. You gotta be able to feed yourself. You gotta be able to have equipment. And I mean, they make it way harder than it should be.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
me and John have been in bands for like 10 years, just out, in and out of different band stuff. Like the first band that I was in was with him, so and like, I mean, if we get paid, like when we got paid at shows, it would probably be like, honestly, we talked about this. It would be gas money that we paid getting to and from the show, and then probably a sandwich for each of us at Arby's, and that's all we got.
Oh yeah, me and Blake toured like that for a while. Between the Beard and Me toured like that for a long time. I mean, I still have friends that are doing that, you know, and it's just part of the hustle, man. You know.
I think it's wild, like music in itself is just kind of one of those things that, like, you know, my wife actually just went to school to be a nurse, and she's getting a job as a nurse. She had job placement, and people came scouting for her and stuff like that. But a musician and then a band musician, like session guitarist, she can go to Belmont, and then other studios can be like, he's a good guitarist. But like in a full band, there's nothing like that, you know? There's no school you can go to, and then people will be like, this band has got it. They're gonna make it.
Well, you know, I mean, again, it goes back to what I said about having something that makes you stand out. You know, you got to think outside of the box and do something different enough to make people want to invest in you. And you know, when you're just doing what everybody else does, you know,
it's like,
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? You know, some people get lucky, win the lottery. You know what I mean? But I mean, for the rest of us, it's just up to trying to just do something different and hoping that that people can kind of understand what you're going for, you know?
Yeah. There's a band out right now called The Fever. Have you heard of them? It's Jason Butler from Let Live. It's his new band, and they're doing some wild stuff. Like, it's Chariot-esque, you know, the Chariot. Like, it's just a three-member band. It's him, the old guitarist with Chariot, and Eric Imprada from Night Versus, drummer. And dude, they're just
so wild. Just guitars, drums, vocals, or is he playing bass?
Yeah, just guitar, drums, and vocals. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're just nuts. It's called The Fever, and they call their shows part of the movement. They don't call them shows. They call them, what was it? It was demonstrations. And like they're hyping it up. You know, it's sort of Rage Against the Machine-ish, sort of, you know, rappy a little bit, but dude, it's so good, and it's just cool. Completely different. They're doing, you know, they're going wild on stage, you know, picking up their drums, you know, and just it's awesome. Like, that's what I like to see.
True expression, you know.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. I like going to a show, you know, and actually seeing a performance, and not, you know, like it's like the same thing you hear or whatever. You just go there to listen or whatever. I mean, that's cool, but I think that's what, you know, is setting them apart. I mean, they only have 3 members, but they're just going nuts enough to make it something that people want to see, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all like art, you know.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Well,
Sounds cool.
Man, so like, other than Between the Buried and Me, you actually just released a guitar, a PRS.
Yeah, I did.
How'd that come to fruition? Like, how'd you end up getting?
Well, I've been playing PRS for over 10 years, and to my knowledge, I was the only one playing a Floyd Custom 24, you know?
Yeah.
They started putting Floyds on them for me a long time ago, and eventually, I guess it was maybe NAMM 2013, 14, I can't remember, but they released a production model that was the Custom 24 Floyd.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, well, you'll be our guy to play this model and kind of demonstrate it and whatnot. And and then, you know, conversations were had, and I finally got the opportunity to release my own version.
Yeah.
And the first time around, we kind of made it so nice that it was like way too expensive, you know. And you know, we kind of learned from that. And a few years went by, and then I kind of brainstormed. I was just like, how can I make a guitar that I would play that is going to be affordable but still badass?
Yeah,
you know?
like not sacrificing quality.
So yeah, I mean, I made like, I like had a notepad and literally brainstormed. I went over it for like weeks, and I finally just called Paul and Beverly, my rep, and shared my idea for you know, like a CE 24 Floyd, you know, bolt-on maple board, my pickups, the whole idea, and told him the price point I was looking for, and Paul was like, "Wow, you're on the money, actually." And then they went to, you know, marketing and sales, and they were like, "Whoa, maple board CE 24 Floyd, sick."
Crazy,
you know,
enough to wear.
Yes, this could work. So, and I wanted to do 2 colors, not just one. And the last model had like 5 colors you could get it in, you know. And I just wanted 2.
Yeah.
My color and the one that I've been playing for the last few years. So,
what is the name of your color again? It's silver.
Waring Burst.
You've got another one that's a gray.
Yeah, it's just they call it gray black, but I like to call it satin panda after my dog.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, that was like my guitar that I played for like, you know, over 2 years live. That was just like the one, and I finally got my prototype, and it was just, we made the neck thinner, we moved the controls to accommodate the Floyd, and man, it came out so bitchin'. And then we released it, went to NAMM. It's sold a ton of models. Everybody seems to really love it. And it's something extremely different than they've ever done before. And it's affordable for what you're getting. I mean, you're getting like a ton of guitar.
This was your wish list of stuff you wanted on a guitar.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's been out for a while now, and I think it came out in January 17th, maybe. It's doing really well. Most of them have hit stores, and you know, I get a lot of people messaging me when they get them, just kind of saying how much they enjoy the guitar and how it plays great, sounds great, and that's the goal, man. And the last tour we did was my first tour with both of them. And man, I mean, I was just, it was such a nice feeling to play for an hour and literally not have to tune.
You know what I mean? That's freaking huge, man.
Awesome.
I mean, my back, the purple one was my backup, and I swear to you, I played it the first show, and the first show only, and the very last day of tour, my tech Andy took it out, and it was still in perfect tune.
What? Oh my God, dude.
5 weeks. Wow.
Floyd Rose, man. I mean,
So-
that system's good too. Like,
Yeah, and it's like a real Floyd, so
that's freaking awesome.
yeah, it was pretty wild, man. You know, the rock maple neck. Rock maple's hard as a rock. It doesn't move. It's killer.
Do you get more of the like a I guess just a crunched in from that, like the bolt-on style? Or
It's much snappier, you know, and you know, obviously I've always been like a maple board fan. And when you know, like you pick up like a really nice telly and it's just snappy.
Just my brother just got one.
That's kind of what I wanted out of my guitar, you know, just, and it's crazy. My uncle bought one.
Of your series?
Nice. He's like a shredder guitar player, and he calls me and he's like, I mean, he has I gave him 2 custom 24s, like production models, and one of them has my Tomahawk pickups in it. So he was familiar with the sound, but he called me and he's like, man, like, you can't even like barely touch a string without hearing it. It's so like, it's so responsive. He's like, you go to split positions and it sounds more like a Strat than my Strat. And he's like, this thing is insane, you know? So whatever happened with that guitar? I mean, it's just
somehow Frankenstein like
it's
little
exactly
baby
what I
Jesus
was
guitar.
yeah, it's like it just came out really, really great, man, and it's
That's
very
really awesome.
the pickups they're pretty unforgiving, you know. You have to play pretty clean, but they're so clear. And you know, having maple and a bolt-on neck, I mean, it's
huge.
You know, I'm sitting here like, buy my guitar, but that's not it. Like, it's legitimately that great, you know. But
I just want to play one, dude.
thanks to PRS for making that a reality, man. Because, damn, you know.
Yeah.
As far as like my BT Bam guitar, there's nothing I would change about it. So that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, so I guess talking about that, do y'all feel like are y'all going to be doing future tours in the U.S. In the next little while? I know y'all are going out of states.
Yeah, there's
soon.
there's a tour that should be announced really soon in the States.
Are you going to play in Nashville?
I don't know. I know we came here on our last one. We were here March 27th, I think, in
Like
Cannery.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this one's coming here, but I'm pretty sure it'll be coming to Atlanta. You know, so it's
dude, Atlanta's fun.
Not too far.
Yeah.
So like speaking of tours, do you have like any crazy tour experiences that are just like that have stuck with you? Like anything that was just like nuts, or any band that was just like nuts touring with, or anything, you know?
I mean, given how long I've toured,
I was about to say.
there's a lot of weird stuff. I would say the most ridiculous thing that's ever happened was a few years ago we were coming back in from Canada, and we had this just trash can of a human border agent dick bag.
Yeah, that was fun.
And this was a female. She was a real miserable human.
That
And
sucks.
I, you know, like I told you, I had like a back injury, and I had some like Tylenol 3
Oh yeah.
and like
Super
an Aleve
relief stuff.
bottle, and I never take it unless I'm just like, you know, my
Yeah.
back will go out on the tour, which is very rare. And obviously it wasn't trying to hide anything. It's just freaking medicine, you know.
It's Tylenol 3, lady.
Yeah, I know, but dude, I mean, and it was the United States side.
Really?
But they, you know, they go and trash the bus, and they're searching for everything. She's like, "Whose is this?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Mine."
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Who gave you these? I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
What? I'm like, "Have you ever traveled before? You have to like
Yeah.
put everything together and conserve room."
Yeah.
And apparently that's against the law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But-
To have a prescription medication not in its bottle is like a charge. So they arrested me.
Are you serious?
my
You got arrested for
God.
that?
They arrested
Oh,
me.
yeah, she
like searched through my phone, through my
She's trying
texts
to
and my
get stuff,
pictures. I think she wanted to see my penis.
That's what it was. That's what I was yeah.
And then they made the band leave me, and the next show was 8 hours away.
What?
So they handcuffed me. They gave me they charged me. I had to pay a judge. We got to the border at 3:15 a.m. and they arrested me and took me to jail and all this bullshit. And I was sitting there till 7:30 a.m. when they took me before a judge that I had to give $1,000 just to be released.
Wow.
So then they dropped me off at a gas station after that with all my shit. And they're just like, "Thanks for the free money. Fuck you."
Yeah.
And
Oh my God, man.
so I went to a shitty little hotel, sat around for a while, tried not to break everything, and then I caught a flight to the show. Paul and his wife picked me up. I had enough time to change clothes and play for an hour and a half.
Wow, dude.
Took a year before I stopped getting pulled out of line and searched at every airport.
Really? So like,
No shit.
What did they? So they charged you? But
Yeah, it was
what did they-
controlled substance. It was two or three misdemeanors. They're gone now.
Yeah, good.
You know, I got a lawyer, and he was
Yeah.
like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
But apparently, that part of New York, Champlain,
Big thumbs up.
apparently they make a lot of money by doing shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a small little town, and they make a lot of money from just kind of fucking people over. But,
So like they ransacked your whole bus before they found anything, and then they found.
oh, they do that every time. But I mean, normally,
Messed up, dude.
normally if I mean, no one in my band parties and does drugs. You know what I mean? So like, our bus always smells good. It's always clean. You know, we're like old.
That's
You know,
a good breath of fresh air.
so like, you know, usually they'll just like walk on. See you guys.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fine. But this girl obviously had some sort of, you know, bug up her ass. Maybe she like hated herself, had really bad breath or something. You know, had real bad gas.
Smells like ass every time you spoke. It's just
yeah, she probably couldn't read. But
Tylenol 3s, dude. That's so messed up, man.
yeah, and then it was Tylenol 3.
Like freaking.
And yeah, they were like searching all my shit, and she was like asking if my parents were drug addicts, and I was just like, actually, my mom's a CPA.
There you go.
My dad's a musician.
Man.
What else? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have her investigate your Texas, man. Dude, so your dad is a bass player, is that what you said?
And a really good singer.
That's awesome, man. So you grew up playing?
Oh yeah. My dad is a bassist singer. My uncle's a killer guitarist. My grandpa was a badass piano player, songwriter, and just kind of all like ear players.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's
So
awesome,
you're like
man.
raised in music and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
How did you? So you said you've kind of always known like Tommy and Paul and them, or you kind of?
My first band was in like middle school. You know, we were a little Korn, Rage Against the Machine band, and
Nice.
then in 9th grade I started like a metal band that was 2 of the members of Glass Casket were in that band with me, and then I met Blake, and then we started Glass Casket, which we had a different name at first, and then me and Blake, you know, Blake was a huge Dream Theater fan, and when Between the Buried and Me, we were at the first Between the Buried and Me show, and we were obviously fans of Prayer beforehand, and they were just, you know, they were kind of like changing hardcore, you know. They had like sweeps and crazy off time stuff and clean parts, and we were just really big fans of them, and we had, you know, we would play with them every once in a while, and we went on a tour with them, and then at the end of that tour, you know, that's when they were kind of dealing with some lineup changes and had some fill-in guys that weren't working out, and Paul asked me to fill in for a tour, and then I just joined because the Casket guys were all in college, and at that particular time college was kind of their priority, whereas I quit high school to play music.
Music's happening,
So I was just like, fuck it, and I joined Between the Buried and Me, and then I called Blake like every day. I didn't even have a cell phone. I had to borrow Tommy and Paul's phone.
Nice.
I called, they were like, call Blake, get him to be in the band, you know. So they actually tried to get him when the original drummer left when we were in high school.
Oh wow.
But obviously Blake was in high school, and we had Casket, and I was like, fuck you guys.
But take our drummer. We need him.
But he, you know, he finally decided to drop out of college and be a shitty drummer, and
heck yeah.
then we got Dan, and yeah, man, it's just got the right guys, you know?
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's awesome,
crazy.
man. And like that speaks volumes kind of for the like the music scene there. Do you feel like, was it more like a
Carolina had we had a great scene back then, man. You know, like I feel like the metalcore genre started in North Carolina, you know, there's a band out of Wilmington called Day of Suffering, and they were like the first ones, you know.
That's cool.
And then Prayer for Cleansing, you know, I mean, those 2 bands spawned like an entire genre, you know.
That's awesome, man.
And you know, Undying, another North Carolina band, great friends. You know, there was Beloved, there was
Dude, Beloved.
you know,
I still have an old DVD of theirs.
there was so many bands, man.
Yeah.
Bludgeon, let's see, there was an old band, Hearts Carved, good friends. I mean, who else? Jesus, there were so many North Carolina bands, man. Little ones that you never even like heard of that were, you know, and we had this little tiny venue in Winston-Salem where, like, dude, I mean, it was half the size of this room, and you'd see Cave In, Converge, Botch, Dillinger
God,
Escape Plan,
what?
Prayer for Cleansing, Undying,
Oh God.
you know, like Catharsis, Earth Crisis,
Dude, that's
anyone you
so
can
crazy.
think of, like hardcore,
Yeah.
like royalty, like
That's freaking
they
sick.
all came to this tiny
Yeah.
little place. Zayo,
Yeah.
God, I remember
Zayo was
Zayo.
good.
I mean, Coalesce, you know, everyone, like
Yeah.
Hatebreed, you name it, dude. You
Oh,
name
yeah.
it. They all came to this little
Yeah.
tiny. It was just like stickers and spray paint everywhere.
The Muse.
That's
man.
like the
a
Muse.
Oh yeah, I played the Muse.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Muse was
the
so
Muse.
It was way smaller than the Muse.
Really?
I mean, literally, it was like
Holy shit.
if you put a wall up
Yeah.
at that door,
Oh my god.
it was like that size.
There's a. Have you been to the end? Like, you know, the exit in.
Yeah, I went to the exit in last week, but
Right
where's-
across the street is the end.
No, I've never been there.
Dude, I saw
That's-
Every Time I Die played there 2 years ago, and it's like this. It's like you
They
were
had to
saying,
do
like-
2 shows because the first one sold out so quick, so they played a second one. Then,
Yeah.
Or didn't they play them on the same
back
night?
to back, same
yeah,
night,
they
dude.
played one
They
show.
played an early and a late show.
And then a late show.
And dude, I watched WrestleMania with those guys that
Yeah.
night. That was an awesome night.
Yeah,
It's just so
Andy.
random.
He's the wrestle king, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Love that guy.
You should like. Well, I guess being here in Nashville, have you gone to a lot of local concerts? Do you go?
Yeah, dude, I've gone to a lot, man. I've been to Basements to see friends. You know, went and saw Darkest Hour. I've been to
yeah.
Marathon to see Periphery, Animals, Kill
How was that
Switch.
show? Yeah.
You know, I've gone to a lot of shows here, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've even gone to Third and Lindsley to watch Master Brent Mason play. I went to Bridgestone the other night to see Zach from Shinedown and
yeah.
Bad Wolves. They're a new band that has blown the fuck up.
Because they did that cover of
Yeah.
Zombie, right? That's
It
that the
was-
one?
Yeah, but
so
they're
clean,
they're
dude.
great dudes, man. And my buddy John is the drummer, and you know, I think it's just great for them, man. They're all dudes that have been in music a long time, and they it's just kind of wild to see how fast things are happening, and it's
That's really cool. There. You know,
yeah, it's killer, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, they're on, you know, they're opening for Shinedown and Five Finger playing
That's huge,
fucking
dude.
Bridgestone.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
I was like,
amazing.
I just thought it was so cool
Yeah.
to see the homies, like, you know, they're all like metal guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Are they from North Carolina? Or are they
No,
from-
they're LA guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. John Berkland was in Devil Driver and some other bands.
Devil Driver.
Nice.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Tommy was in like Divine Heresy, and I think he played with someone else too. I can't remember. I can't remember, but yeah, they've all been in other projects and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's cool to see, man. You know, they did that cover, and you know, the singer of the Cranberries heard it and loved it and wanted
Really?
to sing on it,
Oh, that's cool.
and left them a voicemail
Yeah.
the day before she passed away.
oh my god.
I swear to God,
What?
it was the weirdest thing, man. But
That whole thing was weird for me too because I was like showing my girlfriend the Zombie by the Cranberries, and then God, what was that other one? Linger.
Oh, yeah.
I was showing her those songs,
But you
and
have
then
to.
and then the next day I found out she died right after I showed her those songs, and it was just so weird. I was like,
I never heard what the cause was.
I neither
Anybody?
did I.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
They find out
She was pretty young though.
Yeah, I think she was like 40s or something.
Yeah.
I heard she partied.
Well, I mean,
I did hear she.
that wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me, you know. But either way, it is a sad thing, man. You know,
Yeah.
for any young person to lose their life.
There's like, I don't know, man. So many musicians and that just, I don't know. Like recently they've gone down like that. That's just messed up, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, substance. I'm not saying that was her
Yeah,
cause of
yeah.
death, but just in general, substance abuse and addiction, man, is a really bad thing. And I have a lot of really dear friends who work in that field, and they're, you know, trying to help people, and it really is a disease, man. And I think in careers such as acting or music or anything to where you're famous and kind of held on like a pedestal, when you when it gets to the points where you can't like go to CVS or Starbucks or anything, and you just have to spend so much of your time alone, and you have all this pressure on you to be this perfect person, and everybody just forgets that these motherfuckers are normal people that take shits and wipe their butts. You know? It's very easy for people to start, you know, experimenting with drugs and stuff like that, and then, you know, the majority of people do have addictive personalities, and you know, it gets hard to kick that, and they sometimes end up losing their lives over it, and it's fucking sad, man. Especially with all the bullshit on the streets now, you know, like heroin.
Dude, there's so many crazy new drugs that I hear about all the time.
Fentanyl or whatever.
Fentanyl.
Yeah, that's, I mean, one of my...
It kills a lot of people.
One of the people I graduated high school with accidentally overdosed on that because somebody just gave it to him, and they're like, you know, it's like cocaine or whatever, or like it's like heroin, and you know, they would do the same amount of it that they would normally do, and it's just way too much.
There was some kids that lost their lives in Charlotte because somebody had laced some weed with fentanyl, and they were just thought they were smoking some weed, and ended up dying. It's fucked up, man.
Dude, I don't know. And then too, nowadays, like you get all these people that are like on like Suboxone clinics. Have you seen? I mean, like especially in like Tennessee. I don't know about Nashville so much, but in Tennessee a lot. There's like Suboxone clinics, and they get people off of like prescription pills.
Well, you know, like I said, I have friends that are like drug counselors, and and I'm really into psychology and stuff like that. So I always ask a lot of questions. Just to kind of know, because I like to, I don't want to ever have an opinion on something without at least researching it, you know, and I kind of like to get information and just talk to them about it, and apparently, you know, like if you're getting treatment for opiates or anything, like they have clinics that will give you medication to, I guess it just kind of like fights the urge or something. Like I said, I've never done like drugs and stuff, so I don't know, but like I do know that there are clinics that you know will treat you and stuff like that. But you know, I think it's honestly like, I think if you're on drugs, you gotta want to quit. You know.
Exactly.
For anything like that to actually work. You know.
I don't know,
that sort of just goes along with everything else, though, too. Like, you know, drinking or smoking or I mean, anything. Like, if you gotta wanna quit it yourself to actually follow through and be completely done.
And and I don't have an opinion about anyone that wants to do drugs. I mean, you know, like I smoke cigarettes and I have drinks whenever, you know, whatever I go, I have drinks with my friends, but especially in Nashville, Jesus, it's like all there is to do here is drink. God almighty.
That's what everybody always says. You just,
it's nuts. But you know, but like I said, man, I think that you know, obviously, life, you should enjoy yourself and experience things, but you should. I think you should always keep things in moderation, whether it's cupcakes or alcohol or reefer or whatever. I think you should just do your best to kind of keep everything in moderation. That way you don't kind of go off the deep end, you know?
I was seeing, like, talking about how, like, kind of like stardom can, you know, isolate you and stuff. And I feel like somebody who has broken the code with that is Keanu Reeves. Have y'all seen, like, all these, he's on Instagram and just, like, in a subway, just chilling out with, like, a lot of random people. He's just, like, in there just riding the bus, riding the
That's because that dude rules, man.
I know.
I mean, you know, like, you read all this, the stuff about him giving like millions of dollars away, and he's a bass player, and I think he just kicks ass, man.
He just owns life, dude.
I mean,
he's broken the matrix.
But that's the thing, dude. I think that's the way to bypass that shit. Is to just become one where people are just kind of used to seeing you, and you're not. It's not like, is that Brad Pitt ordering a bagel?
I know,
You know what I mean?
Of course it's Brad. He comes here every day.
You know what I mean? I think that, you know, I'm sure that it's incredibly obnoxious for them to, you know, like I said, you can't even go to your mailbox without some dickhead barrel rolling out of a bush. You know what I mean? Like that, I would be furious if that was my life, you know?
Exactly.
I'd just like buy a bunch of alligators to keep in my yard. But
dig a moat.
But you know, but I think I think as long as you don't look at yourself like you're, I mean, like I said, I don't have any idea of what that kind of stardom is like, but you know, I would assume that if you just kind of like tried to be normal, if you don't make it weird, it shouldn't be weird, kind of thing, you know. But like I said, dude, I don't know what it's like to be.
I feel like honestly,
famous.
he's just who he is, and I think that that's why he seems so normal. He's just being himself.
He's just Ted,
like
Preston.
Yeah, exactly.
What was his last name?
Oh God, I can't.
Wait a minute.
That's gonna bug me, man.
There was Bill S. Preston Escott, something like that. Esquire. And then Ted Theodore Logan.
Yeah,
that was good.
Theodore
Dude,
Logan.
I'm excited to see them come back and make another.
Did you see that picture of them?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so awesome. Those movies, like, there were so many like movies growing up that just changed my life. Like seeing them play those guitars, you know, Airheads, Ace Ventura, seeing fucking Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, like there was just so many sick.
Where he's on stage doing vocals and like doing the
yeah, he's like we talked to Cannibal about that and just like asked him what it was like to film that, and apparently they just had a little boom box and they had to completely set up in that club, and basically it's playing as loud as a little boombox would get, and they're just up there like having a circle bang, and everybody's like, you know what I mean? And apparently it was just like really quiet, and they just had to do it over and over and over.
That's man, my wife like has watched like no movie from the past, like Jaws. She's never watched Jaws. I'm like, what's wrong? You gotta watch these movies. So it's like my crusade right now.
I swear to you, every single girlfriend I've ever had has never seen any of the like landmark movies.
Like the Goonies.
And me and my friends constantly quote movies. Yeah, you know, big gulps, huh? And they're like,
every
what?
time.
Yeah. I'm like, what? You've never seen Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
Kick his ass, Seabass.
You're just like, I don't think we can be in the relationship. You've never seen Airheads.
Oh my God.
You've never seen Happy Gilmore? Jesus. Cab, please. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
Price is wrong, bitch.
Like, I don't get it.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know if it's like, was it just a guy thing or like I guess a boy? Because I was a kid whenever I was watching all these movies. Was it just?
Dude, I don't know.
What were girls doing whenever we were
My
young?
dad got me into all the movies that I like. He was a huge 80s action movie buff. And I mean, it would be like back in the day when TNT had all those movies on, it would be like Conan the Barbarian, freaking Rambo,
Highlander.
like all of them you can think of.
Die Hard.
Lethal Weapon, just. And I mean, that's what I was raised on, so.
That's the reason I saw any movies. I have an older brother, 6 years older, and I grew up hanging out with him and his friends, and you know, I went to senior beach week with him when I was in 6th grade.
Oh,
you know, and 'cause my mom trusted him, you know, and they took care of me. And my dad, like, you know, I was with him every other weekend, and Friday and Saturday night we'd go to the movie store, rent a VHS, you know, and he'd be like, "Look, we're gonna watch this movie. If I hear you repeat any of these words, I'm gonna whip your ass." I'd be like, "Okay."
Nice.
You know, so we'd watch, you know, we watched Friday, we watched Ace Ventura, we'd watch the Lethal Weapons, we'd watch, you know, the Die Hards, we'd watch whatever, man. But comedy has always been such a huge part of my life, and you know, my dad's hilarious, and my uncle's funny, and my grandpa was just the wittiest, most hilarious person on the planet. But
that's how my granddad is.
You know?
I mean, he was a country music singer for a long time. His name was Gary Stringer, and he just got that charm and the charisma, and like I mean, anybody can walk up to him and he can just turn something into a joke. Just
wit.
Just right there.
Man. Yeah, wit.
Like, prime example, a random story. I was at my aunt's wedding, which that's her dad, and they had this wine that the bride and groom made, and they had an open bar, but it was just that wine that they made and some beers, and they told the bartender there that she wasn't allowed to give him any wine. He could have some beer but no wine. And like, I was sitting there eating, and I remember looking back, and he was over by the bartender just, you know, talking and stuff, and then I saw her slip him a glass of wine, and I was like,
Still got it.
I knew it.
Still got it.
I knew it.
Yeah.
He could
You
just
salty
charm me.
dog, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But so, what do you, like, y'all are going to be going on tour. What is it like before you go back on tour? Like, y'all are on kind of off season right now.
Like, what is the preparation leading up to it? Well, me and Tommy will go home, and we'll rehearse for a day, maybe 2 days, maybe, and we'll just kind of load up our stuff, and then we get it all packed up, pack the bus up, rock and roll.
Well, like y'all are going over to, I think, are y'all starting out in like Germany or Japan or something like that?
We're doing Europe in November.
Oh,
So that's pretty far off.
That's far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where have I been getting my sources? Google.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
overseas touring is a huge pain in the ass, to be honest.
can
No
imagine,
offense to
man.
any, fans over there, but you're not playing your own gear. It costs thousands of dollars just to check your shit to take it over there. It's just, it's very, very. I don't even know how to address it without sounding like a douche, but it's tough.
No.
Do you have your own
You know?
driver over there, or like, do y'all drive, or?
No, we don't drive.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just everything's expensive.
Yeah.
We don't do quite as well over there, and you're playing on some rental shit, and Blake's playing like when we go to Australia, every day he's playing a new drum set. He's got a rehead tune set up every day,
That's horrible.
and it's unless you're like
An
a
hour, 2 hours
big
per
ass
time.
band that has like your own techs to do that, and you don't have to like touch anything.
Yeah.
It's a lot more work than it is rewarding,
Like even I watched Modest Mouse recently at the Ryman they played, and he was talking about like they were going over to, I think it might have been Australia. I think it's where he was saying he was playing, and they actually hired. He thought that it was like a professional moving company to bring their gear over and fly it over, and he was like, nope, it actually just goes in the random bottom compartment, like where all your luggage and stuff would go. Like all of our musical equipment went with your luggage, and he was like, what happens with your luggage? It gets lost sometimes.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I think they lost a saxophone or something of his, and so they're at a huge festival, and he's just kicking around backstage because they can't go on and play because all their stuff's lost in customs.
Oh, that's super common, man. It even happens to huge bands. I mean, my two of our guys that toured with us for years now tour with Brothers Osborne, who are Grammy winners and fantastic band, man, fantastic guys, and they just did some stuff over in England and had a bunch of stuff lost, and I've had guitars lost. Took a few days to get them back. I've had pedal boards lost.
Oh, your whole pedal board?
Yep.
Did y'all get to play that show?
We got it. I mean, we got it back, thankfully. But
I'd be like, oh my god.
dude, I'm telling you, man, he'll get a hemorrhoid quick.
Yeah.
But
holy crap.
it can be a real pain in the ass, man.
Yeah.
Because my grandpa was a pilot, and my dad worked in aviation for like 20 years, man. And anytime something happens, he's like, those bastards, I know what they do, like
Back there sniffing your panties.
back, yeah. Seriously, I think it was in the mid to late 90s. My dad, there was some sort of strike, like they were wanting more money and shit. And he said that the dickheads who like load your stuff on the plane, he said they were opening people's luggage and just taking shits in it
Are you serious?
and just like zipping it back up.
Oh my god.
I mean, dude,
I don't even know that I'd be mad. I'd be like, I am so offended right now.
yeah, I'd be like, you bastard. I mean, we get on the plane sometimes, and like I'll just be looking out, and I'm like, there's my guitars, and he threw them.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like, there's been times where I'm like looking at the window, I'm like,
Yeah.
know?
If you hit on it loud enough, they'll hit you.
That's
God,
crazy.
that
yeah.
sucks, man.
You see, like your pedal board says this side up, and they just like look at it and just throw it upside down.
They
You
don't-
open it, and all your
yeah.
shit's everywhere. It's just.
I think they want more money, but like actions like that, it's like, why are we gonna pay you more, man? You gotta,
for real.
You gotta act right first.
But I'll tell you what, it's not like that.
God, dude,
it's not really like that outside of the United States.
Really? Is it like they're more careful with your luggage and stuff?
Yeah,
or?
especially in like,
Cool, then.
you know, like Japan, for instance. Everyone there is raised to have such respect for everything. You go to a McDonald's, and it's the best prepared meal you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And they like, it's
Yeah.
just the most.
Wow.
They're such respectful, beautiful people, and you know, at the airports there, they actually treat it like it's their stuff, you know. And you know, United States, we have a lot of shitty people here, so they don't. A lot of selfish people that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't even want to work. They just think they should be getting paid, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I saw something like, I guess just to go to speak volumes towards like how their culture is so much different and how they're more respectful there. But have you ever heard of a French fry party at McDonald's?
That sounds beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful. Like no, in Japan they like
It's like a cat cafe.
Right. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people get together, like 5 friends or whatever, and then they'll buy a large fry and then throw it out on the tray together, and then they all eat these French fries, and that's like a huge deal there. They're like, "Why would you get so many French fries?" And it blows up on Instagram. French
great.
fry party.
You know what?
So
It's the
humble,
little things, man.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's great.
That's just nuts. That it's like, and then like here, that's like, oh yeah, we brought like. That's what my grandma does, you know. She orders like 15 large fries.
Oh, yeah, my buddy ordered a
Hamburgers.
50-piece nugget last night.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. So besides music, like Nashville, what do you get into? Like, what are some of your things that you?
I'm a huge mountain bike fan, like enduro mountain biking.
Yeah.
And downhill.
There's. Tons.
Yeah, I want to go to Percy Warner real bad.
That's nice.
Because I met a guy on Instagram who is extremely serious about riding, and he's good. And he told me that's like the place. Nothing around here is. My bike is kind of a bit overboard for anything around here, you know.
Yeah, there's no like steep hills and stuff like that, like mountain country. Or
Yeah, I mean, I can go east and get my, you know, have my balls in my ass scared to death. But
there's some nice trails though, like
yeah, I mean, I live in Hermitage, so I go to Chutes Branch, which is like a mile from my house. It's pretty good, but it's more like cross country stuff.
In like Dixon where we're at or whatever, there's Montgomeryville, and they've got like a 15-mile, I think it's a 15-mile track, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. Been out there a few times.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's just it's been really like it's rained a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we live in Seattle, but it's been raining a lot, and when it's like super hot, it's just like it's not even fun.
We didn't have a spring this year, dude.
Yeah,
it was like
man.
A winter.
It just went from like ice cold to like you're sweating balls.
Yeah.
I think there was like a week of nice temperature, you know, but like, I love that. I love to fish. I just like hanging out, man. I mean, shit. Like, I kind of wish I lived closer to town. I'll probably end up moving to East or something soon, but I love coffee. Don't judge me on the Starbucks. I was running late.
The Starbucks here, man.
I like Barista Parlor and Crema, but like going to guitar shops. You know, I love Carter.
Yeah.
Grunes. Just go there and pick up some guitars, hang out. I mean, shit, I've been in Carter a few times. I was in there. Zach Brown was buying some expensive ass guitar. Chris Stapleton was in there. Doug Aldridge from Whitesnake.
There's so many famous people.
Yeah, it's just killer, man.
Realize, man.
Yeah, I just like to hang, man. You know, I like to. I probably go out more than I should just because I like to see music and just hang out, shoot the breeze with the friends, and I love sports. Like to go to games. Went to my first Sounds game the other day.
Dude, Sounds.
That was fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. My cousin had a birthday party there one time, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that place is awesome. They have a bar in the outfield with pool tables, ping pong, cornhole, like.
They threw it down, dude.
They got like a mini golf. I mean, I was like, this
Yeah.
fucking rules, man.
Dude, I love mini golf.
Yeah, it's
That's one of my favorite.
Have you been to Top Golf out in? Like,
I haven't. I've got a few friends that work there, and they keep telling me I need to, but the thing is, I haven't played golf since '05.
You don't really have to play Top Golf. You just got to be able to hit it hard in a general direction because they've got these huge holes, dude. I mean, massive holes, and they're lit up, and like
They're
each
just
hole is different.
massive.
Yeah, Christmas mom style. But they're like, and they're all lit up in different colors and stuff, and each one gives you like different points. My wife did good, dude.
Well, I mean, I used to be really good at golf, but I just haven't played since I destroyed my back.
Yeah.
And I kind of like don't know if swinging a golf club would like suck or not.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it in a long time, so.
How do you smash your back? What happened?
I want to say like my dad and my grandpa have terrible back problems, and I think half of it's like hereditary. And
That's what's wrong with me.
I used to chip the bottom of my guitar from headbanging.
Yeah.
It was just like for so long, and we'd get off stage and pick up a 5150 in your right hand and a bunch of other shit, just walk out. And I think I just didn't take care of myself and didn't hydrate and didn't stretch, and one day I just kind of
That's how it goes. Like you never know until you hit a certain age, and then you're just like, oh,
Dude, it happened to me when I was 20.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old, man.
Dude, you gotta get a teeter hang up. That guy is just skipping off that thing, dude. He's
I got an inversion table. It helps.
Does it work?
It does.
Dude, I've been to chiropractors, and the only thing that's really helped me, like adjustments are good every once in a while or whatever, but massage, like deep tissue massage, that stuff.
Been doing it forever. There's something called, I'm gonna shout out MyoCare, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Miss Ashley Bennett changed my life. It is called structural integration, and it's like the closest step to Rolfing, which is a super brutal body work that you do if you're like in a terrible car wreck, you know?
I've heard of that.
It is.
My
It hurts
chiropractor
terrible.
Talked about it.
What is it?
It's like
They just put your body back where it's supposed to be, and it's the most deep, brutal. I mean, it hurts like worse than tattooing.
Jesus, dude.
But structural integration, I've been doing since probably '06, and it's like the only thing that I do it on tour too. Like, like some days I'll wake up and I just feel terrible, and I'll call around and I'll get it done and I'm fine. But it's your fascial tissue is under your muscles, you know, and it's like the shit that's around your spine. So what happens is when you have like a problem in your spine, your nerves make that fascial tissue just and act as a cast around your spine.
And that's right.
So, and it gets knotted up like a phone cord.
Oh, dang.
So that's why you're like in such terrible pain, and then it makes your pelvis all out of whack. So basically they have to push with pressure points and all kinds of other shit. They have to push through your muscle into the fascial tissue.
Bless, man.
And they have to move my ribs sometimes.
Really?
Like dig in your ribs and move them.
It's like those old...
It's awful, man. But it helps, and it is what, I mean, dude, I did multiple tours on a drum throne. I had a cane.
Yeah.
I was all fucked up.
wow.
Damn.
But that stuff saved my life, man.
Yeah.
Kind of made me feel normal again. So
I have to find somebody that does that. Just
there's
get
someone
up
in
there.
Goodlettsville.
Goodlettsville?
I think it's called Pro Massage and Chiropractic. And there's 2 therapists there that do the myofascial, like structural integration stuff. And I've gone to her multiple times because I have neck problems now too.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man.
So how far do their fingers go in, man? Are they like in there?
No, I mean, they don't like put their finger up your ass or anything, but like, it's just like, imagine just like the most brutal, like just deep massage. I mean, like they'll be going like up under your shoulder blades, just like super hard, where you're like, but you can feel like it's like a golf ball is just
And then
out
it
of your
releases.
shoulder.
I've had some deep tissue. Like I had a car wreck at one point, but my neck was injured before that. But the car wreck sort of made it come to fruition. You know, it made me actually feel the pain. And I went to this chiropractor, and he put me on like a routine, kind of like I got adjustments, and then I would sit on a table, and then I would also get a deep tissue massage to kind of release
the best, dude.
And like, I mean, they would just, they would hold it on there. You know, until you felt it, and then you could feel it actually release. And it would, I mean, it definitely helped me.
But see, you can't get adjusted while you're tight like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, doing the massage and the adjustment is the best thing for you. And like the stretching and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, dude, I've been doing this shit since, 2006. So
yeah.
I've literally done everything. So
those people that get like that, I mean, dude, I've had 2 massages in the last month because I have neck problems and stuff, but their hands, dude, they have to like, how do you get that strong in your hands?
Dude, like I said, my therapist, Ashley in North Carolina, man, she's 5'3", maybe like 110 pounds. Yeah. And she will beat you down.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I would be sore the next day. Like,
oh yeah,
wake
you're
up
bruised.
And just be like,
when you lean back on a chair, you're like, ooh. Yeah. You know, you're like bruised, but you have to drink a lot of water because it releases all those toxins. And yeah, I mean, it's a special thing, man.
My wife got a like deep tissue massage for, I think it was either like Valentine's Day or like the anniversary, one of those two, I don't know. But so you're like, let's get a massage first, and then we'll go back home and like eat some food and fool around maybe. And like, no, dude, deep tissue massage. I was like, it was so horrible, dude. It was, I mean, it felt amazing, and like maybe the day after or something.
Yeah, sometimes
a few days.
If you're real messed up, sometimes it'll take about a day. I'll tell you what else is legit. If you ever find a real, not a rub and tug, but a real deal Thai massage place where they like, you're just laying on a pad on the floor and they're bending you and cracking you and putting their knees in your back and walking on you, and that stuff is legit. Yeah. I've gone to several places around the country and in Europe and in Australia that were like legit Thai. You know, it's like some old lady that just beats your ass. And dude, last tour we were on, for whatever reason, I haven't really had back problems in a while. But for whatever reason, I was just miserable for like a week. Yeah. And I found this lady in Fort Lauderdale. And it was kind of more expensive than I was anticipating, but I got a 90-minute, and this lady was literally like 4'9", and you didn't even have your shirt off. You were wearing this like silk shirt with these pants. You know, you look like
went off on it. Yeah.
And dude, she beat the hell out of me, cracked me. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was incredible, man. Like like I felt so much better immediately, but then like as the day went, I was just like normal again. Yeah. You know,
it's pretty nuts, dude.
It's pretty.
They gotta go through some
pretty sick
training, like back training and stuff.
It's actual like, martial arts training, though.
Hands, dude. I mean, like. You know.
I mean, but think about it. If you do this every day, your hands are gonna be strong. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just like squeeze on a few titties, see if it helps. Or, you know, no, I'm just kidding. But
daily exercise.
There's a chiropractor my uncle found for me in Franklin. I haven't gone to him yet, but it's a particular type of chiropractic where they adjust your atlas bone. It's like something here. Yeah. But basically, like from what I understand, like your spine's like a Jenga set, you know. And if by them, they literally just like take you here and they do some like crack to your neck, and it just like aligns your whole spine by like right here. I haven't done it, but my uncle, he did something to his back to where he was just literally laying in bed trembling. It was hurting so bad, like nerves were going nuts. And he goes in there, and the dude's just like, and my uncle was like, he was like, what the fuck just happened? I could do this. This is great.
Renewed.
Yeah. It was so weird, so I kind of want to try that, see what's up with that.
It always freaks me out, man. Like, the first time I ever got an adjustment, this dude's like he's like stocky dude, and he's like into hockey and stuff. We talked about hockey for a while, and he's like, all right, let's do your adjustment. He got my head like that, and I've watched enough old school action movies. I was like, he's about to break my head off.
Yeah, he's about to kill me.
Yeah, but no, dude, it's weird, like, getting an adjustment, because you're so, like, in their hands. Like, if he messes up that neck thing, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't recommend letting anyone adjust your neck that's not a doctor, because they're definitely, I know of a person that got a neck adjustment at a chiropractor and passed away the next day.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it
pinched
it did something where it severed something and he went brain dead.
I've heard about that.
And then he passed away like a day afterwards, man. So
that's wild.
You never know, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like if you were gonna let someone pop your neck, I'd probably go to a pro, you know.
Yeah. Well, dude, I got one more big question for you, and then kind of wrap it up with you. But what is your thoughts on Blake Shelton being claimed the sexiest man alive?
I'll tell you what. Looks wise, I'm not into guys or whatever, but there's probably better looking guys.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
The guy likes to drink. He's banging Gwen Stefani.
2.
He's got a lot of money.
That's 3 right there on the board.
And he's hilarious.
That's 4. So yeah.
He's kind of like the Dos Equis guy. I remember I read a tweet by him.
Yes.
He said, just walked into a Subway. They said they got $5 footlongs. I asked them how much they'd give me for a 6-inch. And I was like, this guy fucking rules.
All right.
See, that just makes me agree with the whole humor thing, because like I'm a huge fan of the Three Stooges. Like I grew up watching them, I love them. And it was like a well-known fact that Curly outside of the Stooges was a womanizer. Like he just
Curly,
the big one. He was just able to get all these women all the time.
Was humor, man.
From humor and just charm, I guess.
Listen, man, I'm in terrible shape. I'm old, shitty. You know, I've had hot girlfriends.
Yeah.
I think it's, I think if you got a good personality, what you can do. You got a cute dog, that helps. I got a really cute dog.
What kind of dog you got?
Her name's Panda. She is a American bully.
Oh,
she's a little. Here, I'm gonna show you a picture.
I freaking love dogs, man. I've got a.
She's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Got like a.
That sort of reminded me of something. But have you ever seen the YouTube video?
Oh my god!
Look at that little bean.
Dude, my wife would freaking.
Oh dang! I'm a huge fan of
the cutest dog,
pit bulls and dogs that look like that. So that's awesome. But there's a YouTube video called Tom Jones Gets Down to BT Bam. Have you ever seen
that? No, that's funny.
Dude,
you have got to see that.
Tom Jones Gets Down to BT Bam.
I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I'll see if I can find it.
That's one thing about the internet. What creativity. You know what I mean? Like you see shit sometimes and you're like, man, that is hilarious and so creative.
Yeah.
You know, like who the hell had the time?
Hold on. It's so freaking hilarious.
Oh my god. Jesus, look at this guy.
He's just going for it too.
And it goes right with it.
Have you seen people in the pit doing those exact moves?
Never. Well, what is going on with this guy right now? Jesus, he is raging.
That's why I got all the women back in the day, I swear.
Look at his moves.
Wonder what he was actually singing to.
Yeah,
the actual video.
The actual song must have been pretty intense.
Yeah, I'm sure you can probably find the original on there, but
that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's great.
And then we always try to wrap it up with like something positive. So like, if you could tell, like, if you had somebody that was a younger musician trying to get to where you guys are now, like, what advice would you give him?
It's gonna be hard. You got to make sure you want it. Don't just do what everybody else is doing. There's so many people, even people I'm friends with that I love to death. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, this is real popular right now, so I'm gonna try this. And it's like, no, that's not. No. If you want to be in a band and you're gonna suffer and do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do to be in a band, you better be doing something that you're passionate about that is different from everyone else. I would just say, think outside of the box and try to find something that is you. Something that, when you turn on the radio, you're like, that's Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
You know from the second you hear it, that's Neil Schon. To have your own identity as a player, as a band is, to me, the most important thing. You turn on a Faith No More record, it's them.
Yeah.
You turn on Dream Theater, it's them. You turn on Radiohead or anything like that. That is the goal. You want to have your own thing. You don't want people to be like, is that them or is that so and so or so and so?
Yeah.
You don't want to copy anybody. Obviously no one would be a band if they didn't take influence from other people, but you know, take influence, but try to do your own thing. Try not to repeat yourself. Try to just be creative and not just copy what someone else is doing. And I think if you do that and you have your heart in the right place and you're not a dick in your own time, and you know, you get off stage on time and you're just doing things the right way, I think it'll work out for you, you know. You know, obviously I think luck does have something to do with it, right? You know, timing and all that, but you know, it's very possible to go out and be successful. You know, I see it all the time. There's a ton of bands that are killing it right now. I mean, look at Knocked Loose. You know, those guys are doing their own thing. They're just like a pissed off hardcore band, and they came out and they're, you know, they're their own thing, and they're working hard and they're playing shows, and now they're like headlining the Worcester Palladium and shit. You know, like they're crushing. And you know, I'm not sure how long they've been around. I don't know them personally or anything, but I know that they're kicking ass, man, and they're doing their own thing. And I think that's just like what you got to do, man. I mean, you know, Animals as leaders, they're doing their own thing. You know, Tosin kind of created a new way to play heavy metal guitar, you know, and you know, I just think that's the thing, man. You gotta just try to do something that's you, and try to do it in a good way. Don't be a douchebag. Try to be on time. Try to work hard. I mean, I that's really the only advice I can give. You know,
that's good advice, man.
Just try to do things. It's like that with anything in life, you know. Just try to be like a good guy, and you know, take care of your dudes you're playing with, and be friends first. You know, be a family first.
Yeah, that plays a huge factor, I believe.
I mean, we've toured with a lot of bands that like hate each other, and I don't get it, because I mean, me and my band, we're brutal as hell with each other. You know, like, you know, just insulting each other, just as for fun. You know, but we really care about each other, and we would do anything for each other, and we are like a family. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's number one to us. So I just think with anything, if you want to open a fucking restaurant, or you want to be in a band or anything, if you just try to do things the right way, and you know, have a clear head and clear heart about it, I don't see why it wouldn't work out for you.
I mean, I think as human beings, we're all different in our own rights. Everybody's different. So I mean, if you're able to put yourself in what you're doing, and that's different as well, because we're different, it just works out in a way, you know.
People, I think, can definitely see through the veil of like he's putting on a front, right?
For
he's
sure.
not being genuine,
and especially in today's world with how informative everything is, and informed we are. Everybody can tell when something's you know, amiss in a way.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, like, you can obviously look at people and you're like, damn, you got like a costume you gotta wear every day. That's weird. You know, like, but you know, whatever, that's your thing, you know. It could be your way of being original, you know. I don't know, but as far as us, dude, we're just a bunch of damn rednecks, and we've just been playing weird shit that we like, and we're always on time, and we just try real hard. So that's about all I can say, man. Drink some sweet tea, some cheer wine.
Cheer wine.
That's
watch a ball game.
About. There's a lot of people out there that don't embrace where they're from. But I'm proud to be born in Tennessee.
Dude,
and southern hospitality and stuff. 'Cause I lived in Virginia for a little while up north, and it's just totally different than down here. Like the people are different, the atmosphere is different.
I enjoy the fact that I can hold a door open and say yes ma'am or no ma'am, and I like the fact that you can walk into a gas station and have a conversation with some 75-year-old woman that you've never met before. You know, I love Southern people, and I like being here, you know. Not to say I don't love a lot of other places, but as far as like where I'm gonna operate and recharge, that's what I like, man.
Heck yeah. Well, brother, thank you so much for coming on to this, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
enjoyed our
It
talk.
was a
Dude.
pleasure for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah. Well, you be good.
Yeah, dude.
World.